Hi, I'm Britt, and this is a gentle yoga flow. So first we'll start lying on our back on the mat. Pull the knees into the chest and just rock side to side. We're just settling in onto the mat, seeing if we can slow down a little, slowing the rocking down even. Taking note of the sounds all around us. Bring your attention to your shoulders and your face. Notice if you're holding on to any tension there. Give your knees a little hug and then drop the feet down to the mat. Next, we're going to gently roll the head over to the side and then roll the head over to the other side. Continue moving at your own pace, considering it a little bit like a massage for the back part of the head. We're just bringing some movement into the neck, calming the body. Bring the head back to center. And we're going to reach the fingertips up towards the ceiling, palms facing each other. Take an inhale and let the arms go overhead by your ears. Exhale as you reach the arms back up towards the ceiling. Inhale, arms go overhead. Exhale, arms reach over towards the ceiling. Continue moving at your own breath pace, making sure to be relaxed through the shoulders, as relaxed as you can be. And noticing if you're puffing your ribs up at all. If you are, see if you can keep them softened downward toward the ground. Get the hands reaching back up towards the ceiling and then lower them down to the ground. And bring the arms out to the side in a big T shape. Have the knees and feet together and let the knees both fall over to the left. Looking for just a gentle stretch across the midline. Bring the legs back to center and let them fall over to the other side. Notice if anything feels stiff or stuck. And if it does, try not to go too far into the stretch. See if you can warm up to it. If you still notice it feels a little tight, bring the knees back up to center. Make the feet just a little wider apart and the knees a little wider apart, and then return to the tilting back and forth. Bring the hands now back down by your sides. Knees are returned to center. And step your feet about hips width distance apart. Knees also about hips width distance apart. We're just going to gently curl up into a bridge. So begin to ground your feet into the mat and curl your hips up off the ground. Imagine you're reaching your tailbone away from you. Feel the strength and activation through your glutes, your butt muscles. And then slowly lower down, curling down, and then relaxing the glutes as you hit the floor. Pause, take a breath in, and then let it out slow. We've got one more bridge here. Start to press into your feet and curl your hips up off the ground again, reaching the tailbone away from you. We don't want to have too much arching in the low back. We want to feel work across the glutes, the buttock muscles, and then slowly lower down, gently placing the spine on the ground. Take your right foot, place it onto your left thigh. We're going into a figure 4 stretch, or thread the needle as it's called sometimes. And now from here, if you're able to, reach through the little triangle you've created with your legs, grab the back of your thigh, you can interlace the fingers or not, and gently pull the left thigh toward you. we're interested in a stretching feeling on the right hip, the right piriformis is the technical term, but it's kind of a lower middle butt. Keep the pull just as gentle as needed. We want to find a nice stretch, something that feels comfortable and relaxing, something that does not disrupt your breath. You want to keep the breath as even and gentle as you can. Again, bring your attention to your shoulders, your eyebrow. See if you started to hold any tension there. It's a common place to hold tension. Allow yourself one more full breath. And at the end of that exhale, lower the foot down. Place the right foot onto the mat, and then take your left foot, place it on the right thigh, and then reach through the little triangle you've created with your legs. And we've now shifted the stretch over to the left hip, the left glute area. Continue breathing into the stretch. Imagine you could send your breath into your hip. With all of these breaths and stretches, we want to think about letting go as much as we can rather than pulling forcefully. We're just holding. Nothing fancy. Allow yourself one more full breath. And at the end of that exhale, gently lower the foot down to the mat. Step the other foot down with it and pull both knees into the chest for a little hug. And now you're going to send your left leg away. So the left leg is straight, the right knee is pulled into the chest, and we can begin to make circles with the right knee. Imagine you're just stirring through your hip socket. Your hands are supporting your knee so the leg can move passively, and switch the direction of your circle. Imagine you're drawing circles on the ceiling with your knee. Pull the knee into the chest a little more back to start, and then bring your left knee into the chest and send your right leg away. And again, circles with the knee. You can make big circles or little circles. What matters is that it feels pretty comfortable. If you find you're pushing into a range that makes you tense or it disrupts your breathing, make it smaller again. No need to push with great intensity. We're just flowing. Let's switch the direction of the circle. Leg is moving more or less passively. We're going to gently pull the left knee into the chest again. Pull the right knee into the chest. We have both knees in the chest now. Flex and point your ankles. And now from here, we're going to send the left leg away, holding on to the right leg. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, switch the knee. So the left leg comes into the chest and the right leg goes away. Inhale with the knee here. Exhale and switch knees. What we're trying to do, take an inhale again, and then exhale and switch. Continue at your own breath pace. What we're trying to do is find some activation through the abdomen. And we're trying to move as slowly and gracefully as we can, imagining we're painting through the air, making a smooth sweep. Check in with your shoulders again. Notice if your shoulders feel tense or if they've creeped up by your ears. See if you can soften them away from the ears. There's no need to yank them downward. Just create space. Again, we inhale at the top and exhale and switch. Almost there. We'll do one more reach with the right and one more with the left. Bring the left knee into the chest and rock side to side. And now with both knees together, make circles with the knees, drawing circles on the ceiling. Finding a gentle massage for the low back or the back of the pelvis or sacrum. And go the other way with your circle. Find a nice center place to stop, and you're going to lower the feet down to the mat. And what we'll do is come up to hands and knees, but move slowly as if you're trying not to disturb your calm body. Moving into a cat-cow. We'll inhale, reach the chest forward, and the belly will drop. Exhale, belly pulls away from the mat and the neck is relaxed. Inhale, shoulders away from the ears, chest reaches forward. Exhale, belly pulls away from the mat, tailbone reaches toward the mat. Continue on at your own breath pace, with each movement looking to create length in the spine rather than hunting for a feeling of compression. Yoga is all about creating space. Find a nice middle ground at the end of one of your exhales and sit back into a child's pose. You can have your knees as wide as is comfortable, and you can have your toes together or not. If you need something underneath your ankles for comfort, grab a pillow, or you can put a pillow between your hips and your heels. So reach the hands forward, and then if you are able to, rest the forehead onto the mat. If that's too much, you can have your hands rested on your head rested on your hands. Hold in our child's pose here. We'll breathe into the stretch for another 3 breaths. Imagine you could send your breath into your back body as you inhale, putting a little spread through the ribs. And imagine you could become a little heavier as you exhale and sink into the ground. We can very slowly come back up. Find that neutral spine and inhale, return to cat-cow. Chest reaches forward, spine is long, and exhale, belly pulls away from the ground. Inhale again, chest reaches forward. Exhale, neck is relaxed. Find your comfortable neutral spine, and we're going to reach the right foot forward. We're in a half kneeling position now. If you feel like you're losing your balance, let's say you have your right foot forward, you're going to scoot your right foot over to the right. If you had your left foot forward, you would scoot the left foot over to the left. This creates a wider base of support. And what we want to see if what we can do is try to create something like a 90-degree angle here. If you're back here, scoot that foot forward. We're going to get a stretch through the hip flexor and quad area. So let's start moving. Inhale and gently reach the arms up overhead. And exhale, bring the arms back down. Inhale, arms go overhead and your hips go a little bit forward, just enough for you to find a comfortable stretch in the front part of the hip. Inhales will initiate the movement up. Exhales initiate the movement down. It's your breath that starts the movement. And just like we were doing before, we want to move in a graceful, slow pattern, treating the transition from the bottom part of the pose to the top part of the pose as equally important as the pose itself. And what we'll do is we're going to bring the arms down by the side and switch knees. And I don't want you to feel like you're on a tightrope, so do walk the foot out to the side if needed. And we'll continue on this side. Inhaling, arms come up. Exhale, arms come down. Inhale, arms go up and the hips go a little forward too. We're bringing that in. Exhale, arms float down. Continue on at your own breath pace. Checking in with your shoulders again. Seeing if you can stay soft. Notice the muscles around your face. See if you can soften them too. Make this your last reach overhead. And then exhale, bring the arms down. If you have a chair near you, probably should have mentioned this earlier, grab your chair. You don't have to move it like I did. I just happened to move it because it's easier for the camera. But go to your chair. Have a seat. In your chair, you can sit with your back to the chair or have a little bit of space. Either is fine. We're going into a forward fold. We're just folding down and holding at the bottom. If it is comfortable to let your head rest, do so. Hold here in our forward fold. We'll take one more full breath. And at the end of that breath, you can use your hands to bring yourself back up to seated. We're going to go into a little twist. So take your hands and cross them over your chest like so. Find a tall position. So inhale, make yourself tall. And exhale, revolve the shoulders to the side. We were looking for an active feeling through the abdomen, not a straining feeling. If you feel straining, don't go quite as far. Take one more breath here. Exhale, return to center. Soft around the shoulders, soft through the face. Inhale, make yourself tall. And exhale and revolve to the other side. Again, looking for that active feeling through the abdomen. Creating strength, we're creating stability. One more breath in. Exhale, return to center. We're going to come up to standing. Place your hands on your chair. Step your feet back. Coming into a plank. Bring your hips forward so that your shoulders are on top or directly above your wrists, and your legs and your hips are straight. We're going to exhale and sit the hips back. This is a modified downward dog, so we're looking for a stretch in the hamstrings and a feeling of space across the spine. Inhale as you come forward into our plank with the hands on the chair. Careful not to let the hips sag too much. We want to feel work in the abdomen. And exhale, and we sit the hips back to our downward dog. You do not have to have super straight legs. Bent knees are perfectly acceptable. Personally, I find straight legs a little too aggressive. Inhale, come forward if you haven't already come forward. And we're going to move back and forth at your own pace for one more full back and forth. Just going to throw a little extra one in here. Now step your foot forward. Come up to standing. We'll move into some arm movements. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, let them float downward. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, downward. This is a portion of a sun salutation, just the arm portion. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, arms down. One more. Inhale, up. And exhale, down. I'm going to bring my chair to the side because we are going to lie back down on the mat. We're winding down. Find a comfortable position on your back. Pull both knees into the chest. Rock side to side. Settle into your body. Look for your sense of calm. It's kind of a weird thing to say, but notice if it's quiet around you. Just kind of immerse yourself in that. Lower your feet down to the mat. Hands out to the side in a big T shape. And let the knees fall over to the side, just like we did at the beginning. Except this time we'll hold for 2 breaths. So stay here. Breathe. Fill the belly. Now at the end of your next exhale, bring the knees over to the other side. And let them rest on the other side. At the end of your next exhale, bring the knees back to center. Straighten the legs. If you have a pillow nearby you, you can put a pillow under your knees for a little comfort. If you don't, that's okay. We're going into our final resting pose. This is Shavasana. So settle into a comfortable position. We'll be here for about 1 minute. Notice the touch points of your body against the mat. Notice your inhales as they make your clothes shift against your skin a little. Same with your exhales. Just notice these sensations over the next half minute as we drift into Shavasana. Start to deepen your breath again. If you're able to stay here for longer, stay right here, no need to move. If you've got to get your day going, we can start to move the fingers and the toes. Expand to the wrists and the ankles. You might bend your knees, place your feet on the mat. You might turn to the side. Very slowly press yourself up to seated. If it's comfortable to sit like this, do so. If it's not, sometimes this is a little more comfortable. Take a breath in, roll the shoulders back, bow the head, exhale, and thank your body for the work it has done in today's practice. Thank you.